This is a reading of Gifts from the Gods, Ancient Words and Wisdom from Greek and Roman Mythology by Lise Lunge Larson. And the introduction begins like this. Humans have always loved telling stories, and to tell them, we use words. Sometimes, however, the words themselves have stories to tell. The ancient words in this book come from the gods, goddesses, heroes, and humans in Greek and Roman mythology. The stories of their adventures so captured people's imagination that they have been told and retold for thousands of years, and their names have survived as words we use every day. Not only do these tales illuminate and explain words, but they also help us understand our own world more deeply. And this chapter begins with this. It's called Achilles' heel. Achilles' heel, it's a noun, a seemingly small but actually crucial weakness. Like all those classical heroes down through the ages, Blue Avenger was not invulnerable. Like them, he had a weakness. Superman feared kryptonite. Achilles had his heel. For Blue Avenger, it's lemon meringue pie. Norma Howe, Blue Avenger, cracks the code. When Achilles was born, his mother wrapped her arms around her little son and decided she didn't ever want him to die. And because she was no ordinary mortal, but a nymph, she knew how to fulfill her wish. She carried baby Achilles all the way to the river Styx, which separated the land of the living from the land of the dead. She immersed him in its sacred water, grasping his heel so tightly that it didn't get wet. ERE means before, so I'll read that part again. Before she immersed him in its sacred water, grasping his heel so tightly that it didn't get wet. As he grew, Achilles excelled beyond all ordinary humans. He ran faster than a horse, fought tirelessly for hours, and wielded a sword with such skill and ferocity that in a battle he dove entire armies away all by himself. No arrow, sword, or axe could hurt him as long as his heel remained untouched. But when the Battle of Troy broke out and Achilles went to fight, the very thing his mother had tried to prevent happened. During a siege on the city, one faithful arrow pierced his heel, his only mortal part, killing him. Still, Achilles became revered as one of the greatest of Greek heroes, for without him, the Greeks would have never defeated the Trojans. He lives on in our language also. We call a person's weakness his or her Achilles heel, especially if that person seemed otherwise invincible. Gods and mortals spent time with one another and even had children together. Like Achilles, these children sometimes grew up to become so strong and courageous that they seemed like gods. To distinguish them from ordinary humans, the Greeks called these superhumans heroes, meaning defenders and protectors. We use the word in much of the same way today. Achilles' mother was a kind of immortal called a nymph, which is a nature goddess. They were lovely maidens who presided over places in nature. There were freshwater nymphs and sea nymphs, mountain nymphs and tree nymphs. They all loved to play, bathe, sing, and dance. They also stayed young forever. Immature insects are called nymphs. Um, because of these nature goddesses. Some of the words are not showing, so I put that one in.